Hi, my name's Joe. I'll be talking a little about access to justice through the Rural Police Service and some of the structural, economic and social issues associated with rurality. There are certain structural and economic barriers that are unique to rural and remote areas. The remoteness and geographical distances that are encountered in rural areas can be problematic for police and citizens. Police response times are longer, which can be an issue in the detainment of offenders, attending crime scenes, when attending emergency situations such as motor vehicle accidents, and collecting physical evidence and the degradation of that evidence. Citizens that are needing to attend local police stations for the reporting of crime are also affected. It can also affect those that need to adhere to bail and parole conditions. Another issue is poor public transport infrastructure. Many members of rural and remote communities live in poverty, and lack of car ownership is high, leaving little alternative for transport. This further complicates the issue of accessing police services and potentially breaking bail and parole conditions. Another issue faced is deindustrialisation and the declining infrastructure within many areas. Of course, deindustrialisation causes lack of employment, which in turn creates poverty, poor mental health, poor physical health, and more people living in the lower economic status. These adversities that are experienced by those living in the lower economic status are also linked to the higher rates of crime and the rising rate of property crime and violent crime in rural areas. This also creates issues between social groups and cultures in smaller communities, which also complicates law enforcement for police officers who are very much a part of the social setting and their local community. There can be both benefits and disadvantages of rural police being a part of their local community. While officers in urban and metropolitan areas police crime, rural officers police citizens based on their community standing and reputation. This can work as an advantage to police in the reporting of crime by members of the public that are known to be law-abiding. However, it can also put minority groups in certain cultures at a disadvantage when coming in contact with police services and the criminal justice system, particularly those already known to police for their previous criminal histories. In other words, once you have been labelled in a rural community, it can be hard to escape the judgment and stigmatisation. An example of this is rural residents that are part of the drug culture. Drug use has been shown to be related to the rising rate of violent and property crime within the rural context. Due to this, the larger population and the subcultures clash, causing a divide within the community. Police are dedicated to adhering to the dominant culture and status quo. Therefore, some rural residents are put at a disadvantage based on their reputation rather than the situation at hand. Other issues related to police being a part of their community is the reluctance of community members to report certain crimes. This is mainly due to embarrassment, fear of future stigmatisation, and the fear of charges being laid, particularly in domestic violence and sexual assault scenarios. It has been shown that police face a lack of government funding and resources in rural and remote areas, which leads to the lack of physical police resources, low staff numbers, and lack of police training. There are also limited public relation exercises and organisations in rural areas, such as the PCYC, which looks to bridge the barriers between community and police. For police to be more efficient and break down the barriers between social groups, these areas need to be addressed. Due to the issue of deindustrialisation, the lack of transport infrastructure, unemployment, poverty, and the rising rate of drug use and violent and property crime, human resources need to be allocated to rural areas. With improved transport infrastructure, residents will be more able to attend health and counselling services, adhere to bail and community correction orders, and enhance their general living standard. Although the issue of deindustrialisation is not easily overcome, there are options to improve the access to justice in rural and remote areas. Thank you for watching, and for further information on the issues of rural access to justice, follow the links provided.